Most people in Texas know that song. Yes, that's the theme to Dallas. However, on Laying Down the Law, it's also the theme to our Cowboys Insider. And it is the playoff version of the Cowboys Insider. And I like to welcome former Cowboys Super Bowl champ, World League champion, World Bowl champ, leader in receptions in the World Bowl, and my former teammate as well, longtime friend, Judd Garrett. Judd, welcome back to Laying Down the Law.
Thanks for having me.
Jeff Blake and I sitting here in studio. You, the director of pro personnel, currently for the Dallas Cowboys. Are you in Dallas, or did you make it up with the team on the plane?
I'm in Dallas. I didn't make this trip up to the frozen tundra, so I'll be back down here in Dallas.
Absolutely, an interesting matchup today, Green Bay and Dallas, and you have a very interesting perspective about those two because your brother, now head coach, had an opportunity when Troy Aikman had gone out of the game in the 90s to overcome the Green Bay Packers and make a pretty significant mark on Cowboy lore, beating the Green Bay Packers. What was your remembrances of Jason leading the Cowboys over the Green Bay Packers?
Yeah, that was a long time ago. That was about 20 years ago. I mean, it was just part of. I mean, if you look at the history, of the Dallas Cowboys, there was a lot of great games between the Cowboys and the Packers over the years. And I think Jason's game on Thanksgiving Day kind of fits right in there because the Packers were good those years in the 90s, and so were the Cowboys. And they had Brett Favre and Reggie White and all those guys. And, there was a couple injuries. Troy went down, Rodney Peete went down, and Jason was forced to play. And, he struggled early. He threw a pick. He didn't complete a lot of balls in the first half. There was questions on whether, they were going to put Rodney Peete out there, who was really hurting in his place, but Barry Switzer stuck with him, and I think it was he led the team to 5 consecutive touchdown drives and threw about 3 touchdown passes, and ended up leading the team to a victory on Thanksgiving Day. So it was just a great day for the Cowboys and also for Jason.
We're talking with Judd Garrett, former Super Bowl champion, Dallas Cowboy, and now director of pro personnel. Tell us about today's matchup.
Well, it's going to be a challenge for us. The biggest thing is, if you look at them on offense, they got a lot of weapons. They can beat you in the air. They got Jordy Nelson. They got Randall Cobb. Obviously, they got Aaron Rodgers, who is probably, if he's not the best quarterback in the league, he's right there with anybody else. And they've been able to establish a running game with Eddie Lacy. So it's really going to be hard to defend them. Now, the thing that we have going for us is that, Rodgers is hurt. He's got the calf. And one of the things that he does best is his movement in the pocket, his ability to escape the pocket and create when things break down. I think that's going to be limited. He still can sit in the pocket and beat you. He's got that type of arm. He's got that type of accuracy. He reads defenses excellent. So he can beat you from the pocket, but what makes him, a cut above is his ability to get outside the pocket and create that way. So that's going to be limited because I've had calf injuries and, 2 weeks, is a stretch to come back and be full speed. So he's going to be tentative with it. He's not going to want to move around as much as he normally does. We need to get pressure on him, pressure up the middle, get him to flush out of the pocket and test that calf and see if it's full go. But it's going to be a challenge because they got a lot of weapons, both receivers and the running backs really good. So we got to keep doing what we're doing, and we had a challenge last week, and the defense stepped up and played really really well in the second half and shut those guys down to 6 points. So we need a similar type of performance for all 60 minutes.
Talking with Judd Garrett, our Cowboys Insider, former Super Bowl champ with the Dallas Cowboys, and also now director of pro personnel. I was going to ask Jeff Blake if you had that calf injury.
No,
or
I
something
didn't have
like
that calf injury, but whatever injury you had, that Toradol line in the training room is very long. So,
oh yeah,
and Judd knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I mean, he'll be out. I mean, he took the shot against Detroit at the end of the last game of the season, so he'll be out there. It's just a matter of functionality.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I don't think he'll be feeling the pain, but if the muscle isn't firing, the muscle isn't firing.
Exactly.
So he'll still be limited. He won't be the Aaron Rodgers mobility that we've seen in the past.
Couple of things, Judd. One, with that, I think this, as we heard from Drew Pearson in the last hour, the defense has been named or termed the we-fence. It's a total team effort. And I think guys, there's some good guys, some young guys, Anthony Spencer along with Tyrone Crawford and a bunch of folks and some linebackers playing well that front seven of the Dallas Cowboys could, look for the run first because, that's going to be effective, and then can put some pressure on a guy like Aaron Rodgers that's not being able to move as well. In fact, you saw not last week, but 2 weeks ago, he kind of threw and got off that calf because he knew that he couldn't plant and throw the football. Yeah,
I mean, I think what we have to do is we have to control the line of scrimmage, and I think if you look at their offense, that's their weakness. If you look at their offensive tackles, Bakhtiari, Bulaga, that's not their strength of their offensive line. So we can attack their tackles inside. They got a center, Lindsley, who's a young guy. I think he's got some potential, but he's still a rookie. He's still young. He's still learning. So there's some holes on that offensive line. So, like you said, guys like Tyrone Crawford, guys like Spence, Selvey, across the board, we need to exploit where their weakness is on offense, and we got to control that line of scrimmage. We have to be able to stop the run, with seven in the box, and get to a lot of, roll coverage on the outside to slow Jordy Nelson down and Randall Cobb. If we can do that, stop their run with seven in the box, we should do a pretty good job against them in the passing game.
Sounds good. We were talking with Judd Garrett, our Cowboys insider. I think also, Judd, that the running game established throughout the season by the Dallas Cowboys now really has had that practice so that when you really need it on a day like today, not understanding the conditions outside at Lambeau, that
you got to be able to run the ball during the playoffs. That's going to whoever take control of the line of scrimmage, offensively and defensively, probably going to have the opportunity to win the game at the end. So, but yeah, definitely. Go ahead, Judd. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we need to use our formula that's been successful the whole year. We've come out there and we've done a great job of establishing the run. And what Scott Linehan has been very good at is he's been patient. A lot of times, you run the ball and it's 2 yards. You run the ball, it's 3 yards. You're not getting those big gashes early in the game, and it's easy to say, well, I got Tony Romo, I got Dez Bryant, I got Jason Witten. I can get 15, 20-yard chunks thrown to them, and it's easy to abandon that run. And that's a mistake. Scott Linehan has done a nice job of continually, pounding the run, even when we haven't had great success, because he knows at some point we're going to get a crease, we're going to get a seam, and DeMarco's going to go for 20, 25. And those are the types of plays that are backbreakers to a defense in the third quarter, in the fourth quarter, when they need a big stop, if we can gash them for 20, 25 yards. And that only happens if the coordinator is patient enough to keep going back to the run, even when, you're not having that great success early on. It's easy to abandon the run and start throwing to Dez. I mean, Dez is a very tempting guy. I mean, you look at him, he's got a lot of ability. But you know what? You have to be patient, and you have to keep going at it, establishing it, wearing them down, wearing down their pass rushers, and then that all pays dividends in the third and fourth quarter.
Talking with Judd Garrett, our Cowboys insider, former Super Bowl champion with the Dallas Cowboys and now director of pro personnel. Let's talk about that passing game. with the Dallas Cowboys? Or you know what? We've talked about that. What about the special teams? Special teams, I think you have Dan Bailey. Your thoughts about him kicking outside in Lambeau and getting points. They're going to be at a premium. And, your thoughts about how change of field position on the possessions can be a part of this game.
Well, I think the colder it gets, the length of the field goals that you feel more comfortable of trying becomes shorter. The ball just doesn't travel as well in the cold weather as it does when it's warmer. But as far as Dan Bailey is concerned, there's not a guy on this team that I have more faith in and more trust in than Dan Bailey. I mean, he's a true professional. He's really unflappable. He's got the perfect personality for a place kicker. He missed the one the other day, and we came back, a little while later and said, okay, you got to kick one that's 11 yards longer than